I'm live. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Okay, let's do some adjusting here. Yeah, everything good, 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 good. Got the lighting sort of. I love how on my phone, the lighting's so different than on my computer. And I know a few people have mentioned I should get a mic or, anyways, it'll come. All in due time, all in due time, one step in front of the other. That's all I'm doing right now is one step in front of the other. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. I thought it'd be a great time to come and to have a chit chat because Pluto's now in Aquarius and it's I feel that I'm looking forward to this. I mean, it is fixed air. Pluto is the ruler of the underground, and Aquarius is the ruler of the sky, right? Because it's Uranus is the ruler. So it is that ruling of like, yeah, look at what's happening up here, but it's that Pluto energy that pulls us down. So as above, so below. And it is a time with so much happening this week. Now, this week it's a good week, but there's lots happening. There's a lot of movement that's going on. We have not only with Pluto, we have Aquarius, yeah, Pluto and Aquarius. We have Mars that is going to be going retrograde by Sunday, Monday. We have the Sun moving into Sag, so we're having Sag season coming up. And this is sort of like the adjustment time of going back, because we've had a leap year. So the changes within a leap year. So there's a lot that's happening. And I feel like this is, I'm going to say the circle. Things are moving, things are going, but it's not in a way that people are going to want. I posted a while ago, TVs, computers, data, like you're not going to have them the same way, in the next 20 years. It's not where if you think about the TV you had 16 years ago, is not the TV you have now. The computer system that you had 16 years ago is not the computer you have now, nor is it the phone, right? So you think in the next 20 years, and we're in Aquarius. Aquarius is the scientific mind. It rules the labs. It rules things about finding new ways of doing things, right? So this is where in Aquarius, we're going to find things and solutions in ways that are really going to are really not going to be the way that you think they're going to be. Um, same with everything to do with health and the ways that you think health is going to go. Now everybody's thinking like, it's great, we're hearing about RFK wanting to make all the changes in the United States. I mean, some of the additives and preservatives that are in their food is pretty crazy, right? But the changes that are going to happen within the food is going to be it's you got to think of Aquarius. Aquarius is the lab. So this is where you're going to find where AI is going to bring forth food that is more nutritious than the food that we have. Okay. And it's not going to happen this week. It's not going to happen overnight. But these are going to be the changes that are going to be coming forth. Plus, it's the water bearer. So it's going to have to do with maybe things dissolving in water and you're drinking it. So you're going to get more nutrition out of this package than you would if you made the full meal. Okay. And I know many of you like, but I like to eat my blah, blah, blah and do this. This is, I get it. I understand. But I'm just saying with the changes that are coming forth and how things are going to unfold, even with the crisis of women not having babies. That's a huge crisis right now. Because we need children to continue on. Now I know I talked to one woman, she says, "Oh, I don't care. I don't care that, there's no babies being born. I said, "Okay, well, what happens when you get old? Who's gonna take care of you?" "Oh, that doesn't matter." Well, it will when you're shitting your pants, I guess. I you know? So the crises that are happening and how that's going to be, changing as well. So we're gonna find how and this is gonna really freak people out, seeing some very sci-fi craziness where babies born in pots, robots feeding babies, and it sounds, "Oh, that's just crazy, mama. You're just speaking so nutty." I'm talking about Pluto and Aquarius. I'm talking about things that are going to be changing. This is also in around 1779. This is the height of the Revolutionary War, bombs exploding. What did we just have? The things, if you think of rockets exploding, going up, same kind of smoke. So, what is anew? It's a new way of life. Now, with Mercury coming in, of course, it's going to bring in where we're going to find some confusion. And it's in Sagittarius, where we want it to go a certain way. You might have already had crazy things happen when it comes to communication. My printer died. It has to do with the hardware, and I have to change the whole hardware in my printer in order for it to, like, in actuality, it's not worth changing the whole hardware in it. It's cheaper for me to get a new printer than it is, to change the whole hardware. Those are the types of things. It's like we're going to find new innovative ways where this doesn't work anymore. And this isn't about going backwards. This is really a huge forward motion movement going forward. Adjustments that are going to be happening. And where we're going to be finding that with, especially because Pluto is now, this is the third time he's ingressed into Aquarius, where we have never felt this before. Like, this is where we're really going to start feeling this Pluto in Aquarius. And this is where different ways that the world is going to work. And the astrology, the health, the moves towards the difference, and the forward movement that's going to be coming forward is, yeah, there's going to be some positive things, but yeah, there's going to be some crazy darkness that comes in this. This is Aquarius. This is fixed energy. It's air, right? So things can happen in very crazy ways. We still have Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is still, he's still ruling. He's ruling the way. Saturn is not going to be even meeting up with Neptune until 2026, in January, I believe, of 2026 in Aries. So this movement, and with Saturn going forward, of wanting to connect, looking at the boundaries. Pluto's also about boundaries. He's the ruler of Scorpio. Scorpio wants to bring in boundaries. How far can we push those boundaries? What do those boundaries look like? Pluto's also wanting to resurrect, death and resurrection. So things that you might wanting to resurrect in your life. And that's the whole this is like Aquarius. It's not like you won't be able to go back to that old job. You might think, "Oh, that was, I know that job. This is what I want to do." It's it's done. It's not going to do anything for you. Going backwards is going to be more of a hindrance for you, right? So this is coming into new ways, new ideas, new jobs. Innovation is there. And this is where, where people who do stay and people who don't want to go into those new spaces and the new ways. This is where and my mind goes to, when cell phones were coming out and everybody, "Oh, I'm not going to carry a cell phone in my pocket. I don't want a cell phone in my pocket. I'll never carry a cell phone in my pocket." Everybody's carrying a cell phone in their pocket now. I mean, the majority of the world has cell phones, computers. It's like, you can go back even to, when TVs were coming out. Well, I'm not going to have one of those in my house. Have you been into a house that doesn't have a TV? I mean, the changes that come in. Now we're coming in where, shall I say, in the next few years, that people are going to have robots in their house. I mean, many people already do. They have those little robots that go around and, vacuum, right? And go around and do the vacuuming in their house. Those are little robots. So new innovative ways are coming forward, and, they're not gonna look the way that we think they're going to look like, and that's all part of this energy that's coming in, the frequencies that are coming in and making these changes. And as we are going forward in these new innovative ways, problem solving, the way that we problem solve things, we are looking at Aquarius energy. This isn't, Leo energy. The people who were born with Pluto and Leo are going to be having an extremely hard time adjusting. The Pluto and Virgos are going to be the ones um, constantly adjusting, trying to make these changes, innovations, right? Where the Pluto and Libras are going to find it, okay, it's air sign. Oh, we're changing, we're doing this, we're moving ahead, right? So these are, what's going to be happening 250 years ago, you know, um, as forwardness. So every time he went in, every time Pluto ingressed it, every 250 years, he went into Aquarius, there was changes. They didn't go backwards. King Henry VIII didn't go backwards. Revolutionary War, they didn't go backwards. In fact, that was the time of even the starting of the Industrial Revolution was back in 1778. New innovative ways were coming in on mining, on how to um, combine to create steel and tin and all of this, right? And ways of sourcing it and ways of mining it were starting to change. So these changes, these innovative ways are coming forth. This is where, the people wanting to disconnect. Health going to happen, the changes in our health, the way that new advances in how we take care of ourselves, take care of our body. The energy, the grids, the power lines, the extreme, our energy, our fixed food. So the Pluto, the problem solving is going to bring something different. And this is also going to bring in the darkness as well. There's where, you might find that the chemicals that they take out, um, that this AI or robots make something healthier. This is where with, Aquarius and Pluto's come in, officially with a problem to fix, and where fear will come forward. This is not Pluto in Capricorn where you say, okay, I do this and I do this and I do this, I do this. Pluto in Aquarius is that you do this. Oh, but we're going to take you over here. Oh, but I didn't want to go over here. Well, that's where you're going to go, because that's where the things are going to get solved. Where you're going to think, no, I got to do it this way. Right? I have to take A, B, C, and D. And he's going to take, yeah, but this A is going to stretch out and this A is going to take you in a different place. Then you're going to meet up with B. It is going to be difficult in some ways, but maybe taking, when it comes taking the bad chemicals out, where it's bringing in something that's more sustainable for the planet. This is where you're going to be finding out. We're already hearing, you go on TikTok, everything about aliens in the sky, people seeing UFOs or whatever they're calling them now. The ocean has aliens. So we're going to be finding out more and more of that. That's going to come in. We're going to also have where what we think is real is not real. What we think, oh, is that real? But it's not real. So this is looking at things things that cannot go backwards. This is where people are going to be thinking, well, I'm going to do it, and this is going to, the spiritual community are just going to go in a tizzy, because they want to have it this way. This is the way we've always done it, right? It's very dogmatic. This is the way that we say, this is the way that we connect with our God. This is the way we connect with our goddess. Well, it's changing. It's not saying they're not going to be there, but the way that we do it and the way we connect it. The herbs, the way that we grow our herbs, the way we can extract the nutrients from our herbs is going to be way different. Where we are going to be able to extract even more potent essence of that plant, but it may not be in the way that it's not going to be the way you think. This is Uranus. This isn't Saturn. Uranus rules Aquarius. Saturn's the old ruler. Uranus is bringing in newness. He's bringing in something that is beyond what we can comprehend at this moment. And this is where, the techniques that come through and way more complicated, this is a very forward energy. We are coming into, especially this week, it is extremes. The sun is going to be moving into Sag, and it's going to sextile over to Pluto. Mercury's going to retrograde at the end. So belief systems, the way you believe things, the way you think, the way, how your values and what you thought was your true value, how that is going to be changing. And this is where, especially as the moon crosses over Mercury's direct, going very slow in Leo, and it won't cross again till next spring. And Pluto and Mercury, or Pluto and Mars, I should say, not Mercury. Pluto and Mars are going to be in an opposition until next year. So there's going to be this pull, this fight, this energy that's coming in, right? So the extremes, because with Mars being in Leo, the extremes, the fire, the explosions that are going to come forth, physically and non-physically, explosions within our own selves, the ideas that could come forth, where Pluto wants to take you and challenge you in new ways that you have not been challenged before. This is where, I'm going to do what makes me happy and always makes me happy. This is what I've done and this makes me happy. It's not. It won't be there. You think that's what makes you happy. This is what I've always done. It's not going to be there, or it's going to change. So if you're, especially with Uranus is about moving forward, going upwards, right? Expanding yourself, expanding your knowledge, expanding your spiritual energy, allowing for that expansion. So that is a movement towards heaven, if you want to call it, the divine. Well, backwards is hell. If you don't want to change, if you want to stay in the old ways, if you think that things are going to go back to the 1900s, they're not. If you think technology is going to go away, it's not. It is just going to advance to something new. And this is where, our values and this elevator of life is moving forwards. So you don't want to go backwards. We're not going to replay the 1900s. We can't. That's why the Plutos and Leos aren't going to fit, right? These are the people who were born after World War II. They're not going to fit in this new innovative way. This is where Pluto and Virgos, every month when the new moon comes in there, it's going to be a quincunx. That means, and I'm a Pluto and Virgo, right? There's going to be a lot of adjusting every month that I'm going to have to do. So bad enough I got a lot of craziness, right now where my Venus is. My Venus is in a square over to Aquarius. So it's getting me to look at my values, getting me to look at what it is that I want to create and I want to do. And that I have to be very thoughtful in what I'm doing because, be careful what you pray for, be careful what you wish for, right? So this is where, this, won't be so simple. Solid structures, weird new directions, adjustments, new forms in reality, adapting to change. And with with Pluto, very objective. This is where Aquarius can be overreaching, changing. So it'll be, you know, everything that has been done in Capricorn is done. It's like everybody's like, "Oh, Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin." It's like it's done, right? It's done. And yeah, you could probably, if you are innovative and able to, you could probably still make money out of it. But in some, it is done. You know, something new is going to come that's going to bring in a way or new innovative way that we haven't even thought of. This is where it's like when you go to the store in the next few years, it's not going to be a person there. Could be a robot. When you think, you know, and this is where many are thinking, well, that can't be. This is, you know, Aquarius. This is Uranus. This is things that we haven't even comprehend as yet, right? And you know, it's like thinking of something you haven't even thought of. You know, you know, there are things that, you know, where if I throw out something like Turkish bath, how many people were thinking about a Turkish bath? It's like, well, I wasn't even thinking about a Turkish bath. But that's the whole thing. Things that you weren't even thinking of come for. Alliances that you didn't even think would come together will come together. So these are like, you know, in our world, um, that comes forward is very innovating, and this week is getting us to really move in these new directions, even with Mercury coming to retrograde, which is going to get us to really take some time to think about it, to slow down, to really look at the subtle changes that are coming forward and how we can make those adjustments or trust and allow and open ourselves up. This is a time of Benedict Arnold. So, you know, traders coming forward, even in our own personal life, to people within the government or exposures of that. So, our values are going to be changing, mind blowing, out of control, crazy weathering. You know, this is, you know, I'm going, there's so much more that I have here, but I'm not going to take up too much of your time today. Um, but it's starting to activate things, and especially tomorrow, things are really going to start to activate in massive ways. And where people things are going to be feeling a little bit haywire, right? But I feel, you know, how I'm feeling with all of this is the positiveness that's coming through this. Um, I'm kind of, I I am done with Pluto and Capricorn. I really am. Earth signs for me, even though I'm water, you know, water and earth mixed together and stuff. But I found it for me, Capricorn energy. God bless the Capricorns, but I find it where I would prefer to be in the Aquarius energy, into the air energy, even though it's a fixed energy, but having that movement and allowing for the newness and innovative ways to come forth, right? So for many, this is going to be difficult. You know, the way that you do your business, the way that you think that you need to, um, you know, the old ways of the brick and mortar stores per se, you know, because I work in the mall. And you gotta have innovative ways to get people to come in, to look at it. This is where, okay, I got like a Jetson things, you know, people say, "Well, I gotta try things on to feel it." Here is where you have a screen, right? You know, you're looking at it and you're going to buy a new outfit. You're looking for the outfit, but you're like, "Oh, well, I wanna try it on and see how it feels and see if it fits well." Where a hologram comes in and puts on you and the new outfit is on you, right? And you're looking at it and you're like, "Oh, well, it didn't fit as well. That's not what I want. Slide, next thing." Or I want to try these boots or these shoes on. I want to see if they fit. Boom, here, try them on. Oh no, they're too tight. Or I have to go, you know, I have to get a different size or different style. Throwing that out there. Throwing that out there, right? These are these are the craziness and the changes that are coming in. When I say babies being born in pods, getting more nutrients than they could get from a mother. Now, whoa, mama, what are you saying? Just throwing it out there. Those are things we may not have thought of, right? So new worlds, new ideas. And I said, August next year, you're gonna something is going to happen in August of when it comes to humanity and the identity of human beings and who is human and who is not human. What is that identity of humanness? And for many, that's like, wow, that's a lot. And it is. It is a lot. Um, but we're stepping, from this day forward, we are stepping into a world that is going to be innovative, a world that is going to change, and it's going to change very rapidly. Oh, definitely. But this is where you're going to see it where it's not ruled by man, but it's going to be ruled by AI. And so different ways. And the other part too is what kind of energy is coming from that, because we're electrical. New ways of electricity. How are we all going to be connected with that grid and the electricity that runs? And what does that look like? Where we think it's oil and gas and everybody, because oil and gas is old, right? Oil and gas is old. The harvesting of electricity is old, right? These are old ways of things that we have utilized for hundreds and hundreds of years. We're bringing in something that is new, and that's going to be, with Aquarius, something that could be more sustainable within our world. And of course, there is the darkness that comes in with Aquarius. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of crazy darkness that is there. But with Pluto, things get revealed. Like, he brings out some of the craziest and the worst of things, right? Where, when he was in 2008, the housing crisis, the banking crisis, the wake up call of letting people know, look, at your system is not working. Your system, when it comes to money, when it comes to how you are obtaining your wealth, is not working. Your institutions are not working. So if people are thinking it's going to be a hippy dippy kind of world, not in Aquarius. Aquarius is not hippy dippy. Just an FYI. Aquarius is very um when it comes to their energy, Aquariuses on average have more tattoos. They are going to be the ones that are going to push things to the extremes. Um, Aquarius there's more uh, athletes in the Hall of Fame that are Aquarius than any other sign. Aquariuses push the limit to things, push the limits to life, push the limits to how we think, how we move, the motivations of what we do. And that's that Aquarius energy. And this is where it's like, okay, what are those innovative ways? What are the things that are going to be pushed to the limit? Some things have already here. Yes, we've talked about the pods before, but how are they going to be instrumental in in the world? Are they going to be human? What's that classification of being a human? That's going to be all coming up next year. 2025 is a radical, radical year. It is a year that is going to be very challenging. And that war is not going away. So when it comes to things to do with the war, I mean, just before Pluto moves on, What did Biden want to do? Long range missiles. What happened in 1778, 79? They started to bring in, a lot of the cannons, right? And the cannons, they need new babies to mold. That's why they're trying to push for women to have babies. The thing is that in Hungary right now, one of the things that they're doing, if you have four or more babies, if you have four children, you don't have to pay income tax. You don't have to pay the taxes anymore. They're pushed to really start, you know, for women to have babies. I mean, that's what we're made for, is to have babies, to give life. But because of things that have been in our water system, birth control, feminism, because they wanted more taxes. So let's stir things up. So these things, that we thought were innovative changes, bringing in equality, have done the total opposite in our world. So, and Uranus doesn't do it the way that you think it's going to be done. Uh, ooh, the Temperance. So changes, definitely bringing in a balance, bringing in the balance, as above, so below. What does that balance look like for you? How does that feel for you? And allowing for that balance. A lot of the um, things that I've been seeing, and they're hard to describe because they're not earthly or worldly of what's coming forward. And where many are thinking, well, I'm going to go live off grid. Great. But there's going to be no such thing as off grid for anybody. There won't be any place where you can go where you're going to be totally off grid. You won't be able to live off grid. There's going to be something or some kind of connection that you need in order to have that. And it's that connection with self that's going to be so important. The Lover card reversed, where many are going to find a disconnect within themselves and within others. So we have to look at what that balance is, because that disconnect is definitely going to be there, right? Because when the Lover card is, it's like, okay, how am I connecting with self? I'm bringing in the love, I'm bringing in the truth for where I am. When it's reversed, it's like, okay, I'm going to be feeling disoriented. I'm going to be feeling, you know, how am I going to find my grounding? What is my grounding? What is my balance? What are my, this is where new values come in, new ideas come in, that and innovations that come in that frustrate people. This is where people, you're going to find where, I'm going to call it, Bashard is going to be called out on the bullshit that he's bringing in and the shit that he's connected to. And I've been seeing a lot more people posting things on Bashard, but just I'm throwing it out there. There's something there that's going to get called out on him. And so when people call about Benedict Arnold, you know, that's one of them. So this is about mindfulness, like the mindful of the decisions that I want to make and taking the time to do it, connecting with my body, mind, and spirit. The Lover card is like, okay, maybe there's some things that I do need to disconnect with because I am not connecting fully. This is a card where, when we think of the notions of love and how the satisfaction is in my life, is not going to be the satisfaction in your life anymore. It's going to be different. This is where we meet, we meet things halfway. We learn how to do things. We are open to the changes that are coming in. And it may be a good time to establish a sense of direction or priorities and what your priorities are as you're bringing in that balance. And what's coming forth with that? The change where you are feeling that I need to do a certain job a certain way. I need to be recognized. That recognition, like that, where the time of YouTube or the YouTube influencers and wanting to have that recognition, or people wanting to have that recognition, very much like the Pluto and Capricorn, are not going to be there. You're going to have to devise or feel or find a newness, a new way of doing it. And it is going to bring in confusion. It's going to bring in frustration. And, some people are going to have, and especially I'm going to say in the spiritual community, are going to have a hell of a time. So I have to get going because I have to go catch my bus. So on that note, be aware of your obsessive and controlling mindset. Be open, let it go. If you are a control freak and you get obsessive of things, it's a time for change and a new beginning is coming forth. The old ways are going to be dying and new ways are going to be coming in. I'm thinking, with King Henry VIII, some of the changes that he brought in was, I go to this church. Well, that church is no longer, it's this church now, right? Or it's this way of doing it. And how, doesn't mean the old one isn't there anymore. It could still be there, but a new way of doing things is coming forward and being open to it. So I have my Black Friday sale on. Three moon readings for the rest of the year. The 1st, the 15th, and the 31st. If you are wanting those readings, it is $100. If you are wanting to have the readings for the rest of the year for 2025, let me know. They're $400 for the whole year. You want a payment plan? Let me know your payment plan. Get a hold of me, please. If you want to pay for it right away, definitely you can do that as well. So for readings for 2025, for moon readings for the rest of the year are $400. And they are going to be, it averages out for the whole year, could be anywhere between $700 to $1,000. So good deal. Good deal. So sending you guys out so much love. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all you say and all you be and all you do. Blessed be everybody. Have a great day. Embrace the newness, which, I'm a fixed sign. I'm Scorpio. Yeah, it's not always easy, baby. One step at a time as things start going. God bless and the goddess bless you. Bye-bye.